We're taking the thought kriya today to balance the front body as well as the back body planes. We've done this once or twice before, but particularly today to balance vortexes of energy. We're taking the Arohan Awarohan Kriya. And a lot of times when we are rajasic or future oriented, anticipatory, we can tend to be more pronounced in the chest cavity. This can also be true if we are resistant, right? If holidays bring up emotions, not just holidays, but this whole year has been a series of emotional ups and downs. So allowing ourselves to balance from the inside out, we write ourselves into what yogis call satva gunas. The gunas are nature, right? Our nature, our proclivity to be a little bit more forward oriented, evoking the energy of the sun, very rajasic, or a little bit more in our hibernation periods, which is what fall and winter usually do. Now, I'm just going to show you how the passageway goes first, so that way you have an intellectual scope, and then we're going to let go of the intellect. I'll guide you through it. So as we're inhaling, and again, I'll cue this to you. You want to visualize the back of the breath starting from right between the cranium and anus. That's the Muladhara chakra. As you inhale, visualize this passageway moving from the base of your spine up the front of the chest. Inhalation is still going through this clavicle, this backbone here, the thymus gland. If I can stick my finger through my thymus gland, it would go around to the back of the jugular notch. Still on the inhale. Background, crown, big brain. Big brain is right where the top last smell is. You should have a softness there. And that's where the inhalation goes through. If I stick my finger through my head to my pineal gland, that's where it starts to change, which is Ajna Chakra. The exhale maps the passageway down the back of the spine, down the back body to right in front of the sacrum, Kanda, the origin of 72,000. So breathing in, you'll hear me cue the mantra sa, the sound of pure inspiration. Breathing out, it goes back around mid-brain, down the back passageway. So now that we have that visual, find a comfortable seat, head and neck at ease. Just letting yourself orient into this moment in a season that brings up a lot of emotional energy. Many times we're taught to shame or feel guilty for having our emotional responses. Scientists are now beginning to understand that the emotional intelligence for us to acknowledge, which is the beginning of the process the emotion. And then when we allow ourselves to process that emotion, that energy, then it eventually comes to an end. So there is a beginning, a middle, and an end to energies of the emotions that we feel. Why is this important? We don't allow ourselves to properly balance and feel joy fully, feel anger fully, feel despair, grief, whatever it is that comes through, then they get stuck within the physical body. That's how trauma and discomfort. This is a season, especially holidays, that can trigger a lot of those emotional responses. So bring our bodies into balance. Keep the eyes closed. Start to visualize a ball of light at the base of your spine. As you breathe in, feel this ball of light move from Muladhara chakra, space between base and cranium. Breathing in, travels up the belly, the chest. Still breathing in, wraps around the back of the head, brain. Breathing out, moves down mid-brain to C7, that passage. Breathing in, you can add the mantra, soft sound, pure light, pure intelligence moving through you. This figure 8. Breathing out, distribution of this intelligence during the station. Breathing in, opening up to receive radiance, that intelligence. Yeah. Feeling this charge and transform every cell of your body, joints. A few more rounds, keeping the eyes closed, using this visual. The breath moving around the back. Right brain. Again, telling the back passageway, lighting up. This Kriya technique is so powerful that if you are feeling very anxious or future oriented, bring you into a place of balance. You're feeling lethargic or resistance, a little sleepy, it will energize you and bring you to a space. You might have noticed that your very breath has even changed. You start to move on the breath. You're bringing this into the arms. You keep your eyes closed if you'd like. Take the arms out to the side, palms face. Inhale. Feeling some move from the front of the body, coming back around the brain. On your exhale, interlace your fingers around through the spine. Feel the breath move through the passageway joints. Again, breathing in to receive space up, space across the chest, collarbone. Breathing out, interlacing fingers, and that spaciousness in between. Take a few more like this, mapping the passageway out. This also allows for the mind to come into the present moment, giving the mind, our human computing system, one thing to focus on. So it's extremely important to train the mind not to multitask, to unitask, to become more involved in one thing, because it brings and sharpens our senses. Sight, hearing, touch, taste. More like this. What I mean by you've ever experienced flying in an airplane, you may also have felt plain food is bland. And that is actually not the case. When we are overstimulated in one sense organ, in this case, in flying, the ears are overstimulated with loud sound. It takes away from our ability to smell and taste food properly. That's because the brain is becoming inundated with having to compute high levels of frequency too rapid for us to understand. The next time you bring your hands up overhead, pause for a moment. Put your tailbone down, press your palms high to the ceiling. Pause. Just taking a moment just to stretch the breath here into the armpits, into the side ribs, intercostal muscles. Map the passageway of the breath now, taking this figure eight. Inhale, saw, moving from front of the chest, circular notch, background, round, brain. Feel it map down the back passage. Take a gentle twist over to the right side, left hand on top of right knee, back shoulder the right hand. Even in this posture, as you inhale, map the passageway of the breath from the front of the body. And as you exhale, map it down in the back spaciousness of the body as you wrap your ribs around the axis of your spine. Now, this Kriya is so powerful that if we're wanting to move faster, it will slow us down. And we're wanting to move slow, it will energize us to move back into a place of balance. One more breath here, feeling spaciousness anywhere that's feeling tight or rigid. More float the arms back along my fingers. Pause for a moment. Interlace your fingers the opposite way. Press the palms high, so them down. Stretch the breath. We can come back to that internal breath. Visualize the breath. We can immediately change our nervous system. And take a gentle twist over to the left side, right hand on top of the left knee. We your spine long on the inhale here. Wrap the wrists around the axis of the spine. Still mapping and tracing Arohan, which means ascending. Saw rises in front of the chest, background, crown, and brain. Awarohan, which means descending. Through the jugular arch, strong bones descending down to that. Look the biceps long by the ears one more time as you unwind your spine. No rush at all. Press the palms down the midline of the body, closing at the heart. Heart center is the bridge between our senses, what we experience in the human plane, our material needs, and our higher self, that's that universal field of intelligence. There's something, someone, being, an event, something that you can offer up gratitude and love, feel it unboundedly. Bring that into your practice today. Check the sound of the and join your listen. Take a deep breath in. Put the backs of your hands to the tops of your knees, index finger and thumb to touch. And we'll start to move the spine today. So you can keep the eyes closed or peek up at me if you'd like. Slide your right ear over to your right side shoulder. Tilt your chin diagonally down. Just taking a few head circles here. Moving very slowly to bring synovial fluid, spaciousness, the lymph nodes, opening up the glands, the accessory breathing muscles in the back of the neck. Taking 3 head circles, each to the left, right side, down glutes from the chest. Now go ahead and take your chin the opposite way, around to the left side shoulder, down to the chin, right shoulder, eyes closed if you can. So you don't map the passageway of the breath from the inside out. Still tracing this all on, ascending breath, round and brain, water passageway, joints to spacious. Draw your chin to your chest, sit back onto your sits bones, round the spine, breathing in here into the space between the shoulder blades. Exhale, tilt your tailbone forward. Take 2 more like this on your own, moving inside the breath. Ability to focus on one task at hand. That is where we need to come back to. And that's why these kriyas are so powerful. Very good at multitasking, phrasing that our attention is not focused, giving 100%. And that actually shows that we're not fully in the moment. And take the ribs to the side. So taking a big circle now, you're gonna stir the pot, taking the chest forward to the right side, to the left, back, body. Again, so making some circles with your spine as if you're sitting in a big tub of something delicious. And your spine is a spoon and you're scraping out all of the sides. this also helps to do is to direct the kundalini, to direct your Shakti energy that is at the base of the spine to travel up your spine into your vortexes or chakras. Through this Kriya's visualization technique, Saham balancing, we want to nature orients or stuff in the past and brings us into the present or purifying our energy and our consciousness to be present. So we're attuning. Go ahead and stir your body now the opposite way. You're moving in one direction. Go ahead and stir the opposite way. Why is this so important? Imagine if you were to only plug in your iPhone or your laptop one time a week. Imagine if your electronics could hold that much current, let's say Saturday night, plug in to recharge. Now, the best way to recharge electronics is to close out all the apps. This is the same thing we're doing with our physical body, right? So if we close out the apps of the mind, of taking the distraction of multitasking out of the way, give the mind only one thing to focus on. Kriya, for instance, with a passageway of the breath. And we're closing out all the apps to make sure that we are fully charging and plugging back in. Back to center. Take a moment here. We're going to shrug the shoulders and draw the shoulders up to the ears. Almost like you are taking off a big coat and shrug them back. Inhale. Exhale, slide down the back passageway of the body. See if you can yoke breath with movement. So on the inhale, draw your awareness up the breath passageway. Regular notch background mid-brain. Doesn't sail the shoulder slide down. So you're going to C7 down the back passageway. Notice how this slows you down. That is exactly the purpose of Kriya, to bring you into a state of balance. Move now, the shoulders going from the back forward. Still the map and trace with your mind's eye the passageway of the breath. Inhale. Move through Muladhara chakra up sternum through the jugular notch background down midbrain. On the exhale, down the back of the head, C7, down the back passageway. Connect your movement with your breath and notice that you don't have room in your mind for anything else. This is the union that we're talking about in yoga. Pause for a moment the next time your hands land on top of your of your knees. We're going to start to transition to hands to knees here. So bringing your knees underneath your hip bones, hands underneath your shoulders, tuck your toes underneath you, broad across the chest and collarbone. Face looks up. Inhale. And passageway. Refrain. Saw moving up the front plane. Exhale. Hum. Distribution of this intelligence method down the back passageway. Inhale, you can feel breath moving through the jugular notch, through the sternum, back from midbrain. Exhale, belly pulls in. Feel it trace down to the sacrum, charging and electrifying on 72,000 points. So your life is on your own. Becoming a witness. Just observing the effects of this information on your instruments, your bodies, your instruments. When it comes to neutral spine, we're going to walk the hands a little bit in front of the shoulders, tuck your toes underneath you, and then with resistance, take your hips up and back, downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Taking your time here as well, lying your heels behind the lightest part of your feet. Wrapping the outer upper arms by your ears. Just map the passageway of the breath of this Kriya, even in this shape. And so every posture, every pose that we take in asana, postures, we want to feel balance. When we're able to feel the balance of the heart, in each posture. Then we're practicing Tantra, which is our ability to experience bliss and pleasure in every moment. Doesn't matter how challenging it is. And take your time. Set your right foot forward, help it up if you need to. Walk still underneath your hands. We're gonna move on the breath here. Inhale to lengthen. Keep your chest open. So we're a flat back here. On the exhale, lower that left leg down. Just moving inside the breath. Flat back. Lengthening your front legs. Feel the breath go through the background crown and brain. Lower the left knee down. Feeling lunge. Move inside the breath here. Inhale, lengthening your spine. Exhale, tracing down the back passageway. 2 more like this. Inhale, lengthening, round to base. Visualize a ball of light. Regular nosh background grounding brain. Exhale, back knee lowers. Come the back passageway. C7, back body, sacrum tailbone. The next time you lower that back knee down without rushing, untuck the back so we can take kneeling lunge here. Inhale, float the arms long by your ears. Take your right hand to the block outside of the right side thigh bone and reach that left arm long by your ear. Trace the breath here. See if you can bring your body into physical alignment just by using visualization of the breath. Inhale. Sternum, jugular notch, background rounded raise, always up. Exhale, forward. On the back passageway, C7, jugular notch, on the back. Then float that left arm back down to your block. Tuck your back toes underneath you. Step the left leg forward. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Arohan. Let your exhale carry you forward. Awarohan. Descend the breath. Totally okay to bend the knees generously. Inhale, circle the arms around up. Feel, stop, move. Arohan. Descend the breath. Exhale, Awarohan. Feel it down the back passageway, charging and transform. And again, inhale, circle the arms around up. Descend the breath. Jugular notch, background, frame, and frame. Exhale, folds forward. Hold the back passageway, joints become spacious. Inhale, lengthen spine, flat back, Arohan. Exhale, bend your knees, step your right leg way back. Then moving on the breath here, keep the length of the spine. Inhale as you lengthen the front leg. Exhale to lower the back knee down. Lock, very much. Moving inside the breath. Inhale. Exhale to lower the back knee down. Charging and transforming. Really allow yourself to attune to the breath. Then you go beyond the senses. You start to get into the essence of what quantum physics and astrophysics is, which is the expansion that Tantra talks about, that tanoti, that freedom, that liberation from only being bound to what our limited minds can perceive, into expansion. Stay in touch with the fact that there's an ever evolving universe. 95% of it we don't know. The next time you lower your right knee down, pause for a moment and float the arms long by your ears. Just feeling what this feels like when your body is balanced in the passageway. Inhale, hold on. Breath on mid-brain. Exhale, Awarohan. Hold the back passageway. You'll notice that the body automatically follows that line. So if the ribs are sticking out, it will draw itself back in and the hips will align. Bring your left hand back to the outside of that left block. Take the right arm long by the ear. Side lead. Begin map the passageway here. So you'll notice that you're overextending with the ribs. Your body will start to automatically bring itself into alignment. That shoulder's going to slide down. You're going to feel spaciousness in the jaw. mapping the passageway like a figure eight. Arohan on the inhale, Awarohan on the exhale. Float that right arm long by the ear. Let both hands free your left foot now walks off to the side. And then step back to plank. Pause. With or without your knees, you're going to lower your chest in one straight unit down to the earth. Inhale, baby cobra. Trace the breath here. Arohan. Feel it move through the jugular notch. Round the back of the crown. And on the exhale, feel your joints spacious. Every time I take the Arohan Awarohan in baby cobra, I feel life on my spine. I don't feel compression. That's what you want to feel in each posture. Spaciousness. Lower your third eye down. Tuck your toes and wiggle without your knees. Press back to downward facing dog. No time, movement. The deep breath to inhale through your nose. Might even open up the mouth and side out the belly. Let's step the left leg. Knee down. Yoking yourself from the inside. Float the arms forward and up. Inhale. Base and big breath. Exhale. Awarohan. Left hand to the outside of the blocks. Side lean. Feel the body move into alignment. Arohan. Mid-frame. Awarohan. On the back passageway, just to do the switches. Left arm long by the ear. Inhale. Lean lunge. Exhale. Step the right foot forward. Lengthen the spine. Flat back. Exhale. Deepen forward over the thighs. Awarohan. Inhales. You're breathing for the first time. Circle the arms around and up. Ascending breath. Exhale. Awarohan. Hands down the midline of the body. Again, inhale, feel the breath move through round to base. Through the jugular notch. Exhale, feel it move down the left passageway. Joints become spacious. Charge and transform every side. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Arohan. Exhale, bend your knees. Step that left leg way back. Lower the back knee down. Inhale, slope the arms forward and up. Arohan. Feel the inside of the body. Alignment. Exhale, solidly over to the right side. Your joints spacious. Moves into alignment. Kneeling lunge. Feel the back passage right in front body. Exhale, Awarohan. Bring both hands down to the right foot. Step back plank. Lower the chest with or without hands, elbows, and knees. Inhale, baby cobra. The back of the neck long, jaw relaxed. Exhale, Awarohan. Breathing through the back passageway, belly pulls in, moving through downward facing dog. 2 rounds of breath, tracing the passageway in down dog of this Kriya. And these Kriyas are ancient techniques, really powerful tools. Then gazing up at the space between your hands, step or walk yourself in between your hands. Inhale, Arohan. Exhale to pour yourself forward. Inhale the arms around and up, or Balasana. Your joints spacious. Exhale, hands down the midline of the body. Let's take this into chair pose. Utkatasana. Inhale, reach your seat back. Notice if the belly's sticking out. Using that passageway. Inhale, and run around midbrain. Let it move down to the back passageway a while. Takes the pressure out. More breath here. Feeling your joints spacious, opening up to receive. Exhale, body folds forward. Water. Inhale, lengthening your spine. Exhale to bend your knees. Slightly or moving through a vinyasa of your choice, or skip it and make your way back to down dog. No rush at all. Nowhere to get. Again, tracing the map of the breath. Han on the inhale, ascending breath, background, crown, midbrain, Awarohan, down the spine to the sacrum. Right leg steps up, inhale, stepping forward. Spin your left heel down to the floor, rise straight up, warrior one. Inhale, Arohan. Exhale down the back passageway, either stepping through a vinyasa or step back to downward facing dog. Surya Namaskar B. Inhale, left leg steps forward, rising up to warrior one. Right foot seals the outer edge, feeling the breath up the front passageway. Letting the exhale fold you forward over the thighs, stepping back, downward facing dog, or through a vinyasa of your own. I call the breath too fast or slow. Surya Namaskar B, moving to the rhythm of your breath. Inhaling Arohan, exhale Awarohan in the back passageway. If you feel like you want to take the right and left side one more time, warrior one, moving through the vinyasa, go ahead and take that option. Rush. I'll just let you flow for a few moments. Where to get rush at all. Again, let your body start to attune to what's happening. Without judging. We're all eventually going to make our way and meet in downward facing dog if you're not there already. And from downward facing dog, look up at the space between your hands, and on your next inhale, Arohan, make your way to a flat back. On your exhale, reach your seat back, Utkatasana, fierce pose. Or Awarohan, down the back passageway of the our ability to stay with what is in the asana, right? That's the beauty of the tantric approach to life and the tantric yoga practice, right? It's not shrugging off the energy or trying to manipulate it. It's being with what is in this moment and training ourselves to embrace the present rather than pushing it away, rather than saying this is uncomfortable, this emotional intelligence is making me angry or firing me up. This allows us to go, where can I adjust so I can find sweetness and balance Arohan, within every moment? Then rise up, lengthening the arms, lengthening the legs. We'll come to Padmasana, Padma Mudra rather. So lotus mudra, index fingers, middle and ring fingers all open up. You'll feel the thumb and the pinky press right at the heart center. And then feeling this opening, symbol of a lotus. Lotus is what blooms in darkness and in challenge. And that's why in yoga we use the symbol of a lotus. It is said that the jewel of the lotus, the knowledge, happens when we're able to still the mind, manas, and allow it to transform. And so we surpass the mind. We want to surpass the mind so we can transform our limited human experience to one of bliss, which is Sat Chit Ananda. Recognize that we are not our thoughts and emotions. We are not our intellect. We are not these feelings. Feelings give rise, providing insight so we can transform and heal what's there. Be pressing the palms to the heart. It's like one more vinyasa. You can move on your own. Circle the arms around and up. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana. Let your exhale pour you forward over your thighs. Uttanasana, Awarohan. Let your inhale move the heart forward. Inhale, Arohan. Exhale to take prepare pose, either flowing through a vinyasa if it serves you, or simply step back to down dog. No rush. From downward facing dog, inhale the right leg straight up and back. All five toes press down, heel up. Exhale, scoop your belly up. Draw your navel in, right knee to the nose. Inhale, right leg goes straight up and back. Again, tracing and mapping. Arohan. Never losing that Kriya. Exhale, knee to nose or Awarohan. If you're rushing, it will slow you down. Inhale, Arohan, right leg reaches up. Exhale, right knee to the right side elbow, Awarohan. Leave it there, pause. Maybe we shift our weight, we play for an arm balance today. Still mapping the Kriya. Breath moving through you. Inhale, Arohan. Exhale, Awarohan. Inhale the right leg straight up and back. Roll your right hip on top of the left. Bring the right heel over the left side. Opening up the hip. Map the Kriya here. Inhale, Arohan. Opening up the front body. Exhale, Awarohan. Re-lengthen that right leg. Step it behind the right wrist. Reverse cartwheel your hands as you seal the outside of that left foot. Warrior two. Just pausing for a moment. Just letting yourself embrace, readjust. Map the Kriya here. Arohan rising up through the jugular notch, background, crown, midbrain. Exhale, Awarohan down that passageway. In Tantra, we go past the limited means of our senses. Right? We recognize that in order to have true freedom and true bliss, we must liberate ourselves from these limited needs. I am this body. I'm seeing that what I'm seeing is believing. If I hear it, then it's real, right? When we recognize that all of these senses are limited because they're tied to the gross body. Gross not meaning ill, but gross meaning matter. When we go beyond the beyond, we get in touch with the subtleties of life. Subtlety is where the true magic happens. It's where the creme de la creme, you start to really evolve from your gross physical body. So moving on the breath here, map the Kriya. Inhale, lengthen the arms, lengthen the legs. Take the arms straight up overhead. Arohan, let your exhale deepen you back. Awarohan, plugging you into the earth. Inhale, we move away from the earth. Inhale, Arohan, ascending breath. Map the passageway. Exhale, Awarohan, down the central back body, joint spacious. Two more like this. Let your body move from the Kriya. And if you're used to moving quickly, it will slow you down. If you're moving slowly, it will speed you up to balance. And pause when you come back to warrior two. Left arm comes in, right elbow underneath it, crossing at the wrists and elbows. Option to hold on to the shoulder blades, still taking this variation of warrior two, or move towards backs of hands. Energy in between the fingertips, so fingertips stay long. Maybe you move your elbows away from the heart center, so in front of you, feeling the spaciousness behind the back gate of the heart. Just tracing and mapping the Kriya Arohan on the inhale, or Awarohan. And across the chest and collarbone, warrior two, and then take reverse triangle. So you're going to reach that right arm up and back, long by your ear, lengthening your front leg. We're going to stay for 5 rounds of this breath here, Arohan Awarohan. Notice what happens when you actually map the Kriya of the body in this pose, right? So all of a sudden, you might start to notice that the ribs, if you're used to sticking out, aren't sticking out anymore. You might start to notice that you're leaning back a little bit more, that you're softening your top shoulder. So using like the visualization of this Kriya inside of you. And then on your exhale, rebend that front leg, reverse cartwheel your hands, step back to plank and pause. Pause for a moment. Then roll to the outer edge of the right toes, still keeping Arohan Awarohan. Option to take a modified side plank here. So either bringing that bottom leg down, hopping up on the knee, trace the breath here. Arohan Awarohan. Mapping the Kriya. When we learn to still the mind and go beyond the senses, that's what we're after in our yoga practice, right? And when we can bring that and merge that, that's the beauty of Tantra yoga. When we can bring that bliss into the physical postures, then we can really expand. Tanoti, viparita, expansion and liberation. More breath here. And then taking that left hand to meet the right back through plank, you get to decide here. You have agency, either taking a vinyasa or skipping it and moving back to downward facing. Don't rush, over to get. And on your next inhale, taking that left leg up, straight back, all five toes. We take down like you're pushing into something. Sweep your belly in and up. Exhale, a water hot. Feel it down the back. Inhale, feeling that left leg light as a feather. Exhale, a water. Knee to nose, belly scoops in. No rush at all. Letting the very breath guide the movement. Inhale, on left leg reaches up. Exhale, left knee to left elbow. Maybe you sit forward, playing with the balance, still keeping the kriya. Then take that left leg straight up and back. Roll the left hip on top of the right. Open up the left hip. So mapping the kriya. We're gonna lengthen that leg. Step the left foot forward, helping up with your knees to be behind the left wrist. Right foot a little right of center. Reverse cartwheel the hands. Warrior two. And then pause for a minute. Just letting yourself realign into posture. So feel it for a moment. Just breathe into the kriya here. Arohan. And moving inside the breath, you'll lengthen the arms, lengthen the legs. Inhale, Arohan. Taking the arms up overhead. Exhale, Arohan. Lengthening the legs. Taking two more like this on your own. There is a difference between practicing Tantra yoga, practicing other variations of yoga. Next time you come back to warrior two, just pause for a moment, just mapping the kriya in this posture. Find the bliss. That is what Tantra is about. It's about experiencing bliss. True bliss, not in the Western sense, meaning only pleasure, but we've associated now shame with pleasure. If the breath is not pleasurable, then what is the point of life? This is the tantric approach. It's bringing that right elbow in, left elbow on top, right elbow underneath, holding on to the shoulder blades. Now we're moving the backs of the hands, working them in towards one another. Find the steadiness and the ease, the sthiram and the sukha, the steadiness and sweetness, and then find the bliss, the satchitananda in the pose, the sweetness, pleasure. That is the beautiful approach of Tantra yoga, right? We don't beat ourselves or guilt or shame ourselves into postures, but we're yoking and unionizing pleasure of the breath, bliss of the expansion of what the breath represents. Then we're infusing every moment of our lives That's what the Artavata Samyama, that process of reintegrating consciousness into our physical being. Re-lengthen back to warrior two, slicing through, feeling as if you could stay here because you found that center, that bliss. And then start to lengthen your front legs. So your left palm now, reach that left arm up and over, bringing yourself into alignment. 5 rounds of Arohan Awarohan in this reverse triangle. Notice how the body readjusts. Notice the emotional intelligence of the body. The cells are aligning just because we're giving the mind one thing to focus on. That's how powerful we are. We set that focus through that intention, something that is specific, and we give all of our energy behind that. The magic happens, ease happens, flow, effortless ease starts to come back into our life, harmony. Under our breath of tracing Arohan Awarohan. You rebend that front leg, reverse wheel your hands to frame your left leg and step back to plank. Pause for a moment. Feel the bliss as you roll outside the left toes. Before you go into any variation, just feel what that feels like to bring your body into sattvic balance. Notice how there's an intelligent awareness governing the ribs, the hips, the cells. Noticing if that top arm is too far back. Always being able to see the arms in front of the eyes. And then floating that top hand down, taking your choice of the transition, Arohan, ascending breath through the front passageway, jugular notch, background, crown, brain. Warahan, C7 down the back. It's become spacious. Just letting yourself into this posture of child's pose, map the kriya, map the passageway of the breath here. Only inhale, exhale. And then start to roll up one vertebrae at a time, eventually making your way onto your back. You have the opportunity to take restorative bridge pose, or legs up the wall, viparita karani. So we'll stay in this posture, mapping that passageway, either placing a block underneath the sacrum, feet stay down to the earth, just giving yourself a little bit of extra love. Block would be on the flat part of the sacrum, hips lift up, restorative bridge pose, a little bit more active, rolling the shoulders down, pressing the triceps into the earth. Work the arms underneath you, squeezing the shoulder blades towards one another as you lift the hips high, interlace fingers. And of course, the third option is legs extended up the wall, or viparita karani. If from bridge pose, you'd like to take this into a more active back bend and you feel ready to take full wheel or Dhanurasana, start to bring your hands back by your shoulders, work the elbows in towards the ears, and then lift the hips high. You're ready to come out of wheel pose, out of bridge pose, rolling down one vertebrae at a time. Bring the knees in to over the chest. We're going to take a supine twist over to the right side. So stacking left knee on top of right knee, Drawing both knees over to the right side. Use the outside of that right hand to close the top of that left knee down. Then work that left hand on top of the left shoulder, directing the left elbow. And sometimes it feels good to keep the hand on the chest here. You can also take this into a soft cactus, to a full extension, depending on how your shoulders and elbows are feeling today. Drawing the knees back into the chest, no rush. Taking a moment to press the lower back in, even walk side to side. Bring both knees now over to the left side. Taking your time. Stack that right knee on top of the left. Help it if you need to. Use the outside of that left hand to close that right knee in. Time. You're keeping the right hand on top of the right shoulder, guiding the arm bone. Again, just mapping the passageway of the breath here. On the inhale, ascending breath. We're able to bring balance into every moment of our lives, no matter how challenging it is, and we're able to receive the lessons. And that is also a very unique component of Tantra. Tantric yoga teaches us that there is a lesson and there is love behind even what may seem to be the most difficult, negative circumstances, that every negative, in fact, has a positive. We call that in yoga praksha, the ability to take something that is negative or something challenging and to shift the perspective, which requires us to go beyond our human limited intellect to connect with this all pervasive knowledge, omniscience, pure energy. Bringing your knees now back into your chest, just scanning your body for any other last postures or movements that need to be explored in the body. We're finding stillness when you feel ready to let all of the kriya, all of the awareness simply rest. This is why Shavasana is the most important aspect within the asana practice. When we let things become still, let the energy settle rather than trying to manipulate it, then we just get better at accepting things for what they are, not what we want them to be. Yoga doesn't change the world around you, it transforms you. Letting yourself be held, letting yourself feel this freedom of expansion in the body. I'd let the hips and buttocks take up more space. I'd resettle the shoulders back into the earth, saying the jaw, just letting your body receive tension of your practice. Feel a cooling sensation running over the front of the body. warm, nourishing sensation on the inhale, ascending breath. Breath is cool as you receive it. Warahan, descending. It is warm when we get it. Satomaha sadgamayam. Tamasomaha jyotirgamayam. Mrityamamritaham gamayam. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Feeling body balance, front plane, back plane. To draw the consciousness bow back into the visible body. They rock your thumbs over your fingertips. Start to wiggle fingers and toes. Stretch the arms up overhead and reach one side of the body longer than the other. Stretch the other side. Then, in your own time, bring your knees to your chest, pausing for a moment. Roll yourself to a comfortable cross-legged seat. Press the palms to the heart. Feeling the balance of these energies, the right hand against the left against the right. Feeling that internal balance of front plane, back plane, subtle body energy, physical body, gross body. Allowing and surrendering the intellect of the mind that we need in our everyday sensory world, honoring the wisdom of the heart that transcends, that is the bridge to more, to beyond. Bowing down to that wisdom that we can always touch and come back to every day. Hari Om Tat Sat. Bringing this consciousness back into your everyday life. Namaste.